Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we will be covering SQL Data Divination Language, also known as DDL. And by the end of this session, you will understand how to create and manage database structures, such as tables and schemas. Let's get started. SQL Data Divination Language, DDL. So you are welcome. We will look at creating databases and tables, modifying table structure, deleting databases and tables. So we have create, alter, and drop. So we'll look at this. Data divination language, DDL. Introduction to SQL languages. So SQL categories. Like we said earlier, we have DQL, data query language, DDL, data divination language, DML, data manipulation language, DCL, data control language. We've already covered the DCL. As an analyst, what I explained earlier is just a fair knowledge we need about DCL. But the DQL, DDL, and DML, we are going to treat it as a topic. So now we are focusing today with DDL, structuring database. So look at DDL. What is DDL? DDL, data divination language, consists of SQL commands used to create database structures, modify database structures, delete database objects. DDL defines how your database is built, not data inside it. So we have the create table, purpose, used to create a new table in a database. So this is a syntax. We have keyword known as create table. Create table, then the next thing, the name of that table. You open and close brackets, semicolon. Then you now have the column name, data type, column name, data type. So example. So this is example. We have, so this example. We will look at this example. So let me launch my workbench. So we are going to look at the example. Okay, by default, it's bringing us to what we were doing before. So you go to file, and I will say new query tab. So it's going to open new query tab for us. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to create database. You can look at this. We've been using the contents database. So we are going to create our own database. We use the keyword create database. Then the name of that database. I will call it, let me call it data underscore SQL. So we are going to give a space. You don't give normal space like this. It won't work. So use underscore. So you put your semicolon. Then the database is successfully created. I will refresh it. So this is our database. So that's how to create database. Now, so that we can be able to use that database, you come and say use data underscore SQL semicolon. But in my SQL workbench, at times you can write your queries without semicolon. It will still work. It will, once you highlight it and execute it, it's going to run. But some other softwares, SQL softwares, might not be the same. So it's best practice you always use your semicolon. But my own in this course, I might not be observing it, but it's a best practice. I can leave it like this without it will still work. You can see now this database has been selected. It now become bold. So Now we are going to look at how to create table. So you are going to use the keyword create table, the name of that table, say students. Then you open bracket. Let's just close it. You close the bracket, put your semicolon. Then you just take it down. But you can put everything in a straight line, but it doesn't make sense like that. So that will be able, so that someone will be able to read it very well. So when we are writing codes, so we put them in, like we use lines so that it will be easier for someone to read our code. Our code will be clean and easier to understand and read. So what I'm going to do now is just create this one. I can as well just remove this and start putting the column name and the other one, but let's just put it like this. Then come inside the bracket. We are inside the bracket now. What we are going to do now is the name of the columns. So let's say I have first name. Please, you always put your underscore. You don't have you don't give normal space. So first name, then the data type. This one will be varchar. Then name should not go beyond, name shouldn't go beyond, let's say 50 characters. It's okay. Then I might have something like last name. Last name. Let's use varchar to 50. So just put your columns here and their data type. Please, sorry, you are going to put comma here. When you are done, comma. Then let's say I will have a column known as age, which is going to accept integer. By now, you should know data type. We've done that already. You might not declare constraints when creating a table. It's optional. Constraints are optional. But data type, you have to declare your data type of that column when you are creating the table. It's very, very compulsory. So constraints, they are optional. And now say salary. I will give it decimal. I have 10, close the bracket. So this one I'll put comma here. The last one, you don't need to put comma. The last column before the closing bracket. So no need to put comma. So I'll just highlight it and I will execute. So successful. Let's refresh. You can see now we now have you can see we now have a table known as students. So that is how to create a table. Use the keyword create table, the name of the table. You now put your columns. So let's look at now put your columns and their data types. So now let's look at the table we just created. Don't worry about this one. When we get there, you understand what I'm doing. When we get to the topic for that. So now you can now see the columns now. Although I don't have anything inside. When we get to the topic that we are going to insert data inside, you understand. So now you can see now our first name, last name, age, salary. So that is it for create table. Now let's move. Naming rules must start with a letter. So a table must start with a letter, not number. Can include letters, numbers, underscores. So you can include letters, numbers, and underscores, but it must start with letter. Avoid reserved keywords. So there are some reserved keywords. Keywords automatically will turn blue, like you've seen now. These are reserved keywords. You cannot use them as a column name. Although it might work, but it's not recommended. we use reserved keywords as column name. Best practice, use snake case when creating for the name of your table. Keep names meaningful. So snake case means that you can see when I created my table, everything was lowercase, just like this. So I did not start with, let's say, uppercase. So use snake case when creating a database or the database name and the table name. So it's just best practice. If you use the other way to see what, but best practice, you use the snake case. Now we have alter table. Purpose, modify existing tables. Alter table. So this is a syntax. Alter table. Then the table name. Add the column that you want to add. So that is it. Then you can still remove that column. So let's look at this one. Let's come back here. I will say alter table. You can see I'm using cap lock for keywords, but you can still use lowercase to work. So, but best so that my code will be readable. I prefer it that way. So you can say alter table. Let's assume this table now. There's a column we have put here. Let's just say location, or let's say country. No, let's use location. So what can we do? We can use alter keyword to achieve that. So I will say alter table. What's the name of this table? Students. Then I will now say add location, the name of that column, which is location. Then what's the data type? So that is varchar. Let's say 100. So I'm going to run this. It works. So if you now check this, you can now see now location column has been added. So that is what alter can do. Alter table keyword can do. But if you don't want to do it that way, I can use this drop table, then the name of the table, students. So if I run this, it means that I've deleted a table from the database. I already have it here. So I can now add location is varchar, then so this one will still work. So I now create the table back. You can see now if I run this, it will still add it. So you can either do it like that, or you just use the alter keyword and do it. So you can also drop a table. Use this to remove a column. The alter keyword, you can use it to remove a column. Alter table, the name of the table, students. You now say drop column, then location. Then you run this one. So it works. So if I run this, automatically that particular column has been deleted. So that is what alter can do. Now we have drop table. Purpose, delete a table completely. So you just say drop tables, remove structure plus data permanently. So use the keyword drop table, the name of that table, we say drop table students. So we use drop table students, say like what I did before. So if I run this, automatically the table is gone. So the table is gone. If I want to create it back, I'll just come and run the create table to do that. So practice exercise. You can do this. Create a table with the following columns: first name, last name, title, age, salary. Add at least one constraint. So final summary. DDL helps you create tables using the create keyword, modify tables using the alter keyword, then delete tables using the drop keyword. So master DDL, strong database foundation. So that is it for DDL. So you've learned how to create a database, use that database. You've done drop table. You learn how to create table, alter table, like to add a column, to remove a column using alter. So you can also learn how to remove the to delete the complete table using the drop table students, then the name of that table. So that is it for DDL, data divination language.